So in this video I want to talk about the role of darkness versus the role of light, and are they opposites, and are they in against each other? Are they fighting against each other? Think about the yin and the yang symbol, right? The black and the white that create the whole circle, that come together and create the whole. And that is the same with darkness and light. Darkness and light are one. In this reality that we find ourselves at, this playground that we are playing in, this earth school that we opted into, to grow, to expand as souls, because we're eternal and we live forever. We've been very much taught that, there's good, there's bad, there's black, there's white, darkness is bad, light is good, but that's not actually the truth, because darkness and light are one. So when we deny the darkness and we just think love and light, rainbows and unicorns, I'm just going to ignore, not going to look, I'm going to ignore the darkness, it's not there. If I don't look at it, it's not there. When we do that, we are keeping ourselves in separateness consciousness rather than in unity consciousness. We are doing ourselves a huge disservice, and we are limiting our growth and our expansion. And we are, we can deny things if we want to. We can absolutely choose, and often we do as humans, right? Oh my God, I've been in denial about so many things. When I look back at my life, of course we can deny things, but it doesn't mean it goes away. It just pushes it into the unconscious, where, to be honest with you, it starts to control you. So it becomes the controller of your life rather than you, consciousness, being the controller. So, and that's often what happens, because people perceive darkness as being something that is bad. And don't get me wrong, there is evil, and evil is darkness corrupted. Evil is really broken away from the darkness, and evil is denying the light. Evil has forgotten that it comes from the light. So that's what evil is. So I'm not talking about evil here. Let's just put that over there. I'm talking about darkness and light. So a darkness might be, you might perceive a darkness in your life to be perhaps a breakdown of a relationship, a loss of a job. You might perceive that as being darkness and being something that is bad, but that's not the truth, because darkness comes from the light, and darkness has a role in this reality, and the role of the darkness in this reality is to expand light. That's what darkness does. It expands light. So when we look at it in a different way, and we don't fear it, and we don't judge it, and we don't deny it, and we don't reject it, we accept it, we have compassion for it, we understand, we are experiencing the darkness to step more into our light, to expand our light. So I always remember watching this guy called Matthias Stefani or some, oh God, I probably got that wrong, but anyway, he's on Gaia, and he talks about remembering lots of his past lives, going back to Atlantis, things like, and he once was talking about the role of darkness and light, and the way he said this, I just love it, and I always use it, because I think it's just a great way to demonstrate how, darkness and light, they go together, they make the whole. We don't need to fear darkness. It's there to help us. It's there to expand our growth. And some people, when they're incarnating, they've chosen to play at some point, to do something in our life that creates darkness, to help us grow and expand. So when we look at it from a higher perspective. So what he said was, so imagine you're in your life and you're in a relationship or a job, whatever, and you're starting to realise this relationship isn't right. It's not serving your highest good. But perhaps you've got kids, perhaps you've been together a long time, you're invested in the family and the friends, and you know, it's kind of to think about leaving the relationship is uncomfortable. You know it's going to be a period of pain and darkness and struggle, because we've intertwined our energies together. So it's not easy to move out of something we've invested time and energy into. So you get these feelings, you know something, but you ignore it, you deny it, you repress it, you push it down, you ignore the light that's just on your shoulder saying, hey you, this isn't right, it's time to move on. And you can do it with love. It doesn't have to be in a negative, nasty way or anything like that. It can be done with love. Sometimes we have to recognise that it's time to move on. The soul came here to experience, and we ignore it because we're stuck in the fears of the mind, because we've been programmed into the mind away from the soul. So we ignore it, and eventually the light's like, holy shit, man, they're just not listening, they're not paying attention. I keep trying to give them this message and they will not listen. So the light, the angel, goes over to the darkness, which he did describe as a devil, but I don't see the darkness as being the devil. I see that as being evil, but it doesn't matter, who knows, right? Goes over to the darkness and says, I need your help. So they're working together, they're friends. They're like, man, I need your help. They're not listening. They need something major to wake them up, to shift them onto the path that they agreed to walk in this incarnation, the things they agreed to experience. So the darkness will come in, and if it's a relationship, boom, perhaps an affair will happen. Perhaps you'll find something out. It'll get to that point where that happens, and boom, the relationship is torn apart. Or maybe you'll lose your job, you'll get made redundant, or you'll get an illness. Something will come into your reality through the darkness, and it's there to wake you up. It's there to move you, to expand your light and move you onto a higher timeline. So I love thinking about the darkness like that and the light that way. You know, if we listen to the light more, if we start to do our work to dissolve all the fears of the mind, all the illusions of the mind, connect to our truth, stay in integrity to our truth, not bend from our integrity because we're afraid of what others will think or say, but stand in it. The truth can be painful for some people to hear sometimes. You know, we're programmed to lie about most things, because when you told the truth as a child, you probably get into trouble for telling the truth. So that creates a program. Keep it to yourself, because you're going to feel some pain. You know, you're not going to be received well for speaking your truth. So often that's a very deep programming us. So the truth is painful, but what I always say is, whether it's painful or not, the truth is the truth, and the truth cannot be denied, and energy doesn't lie anyway. And that's why often if we ignore the truth, the energy is going to draw that into our reality. Okay, so the truth is the truth. When we speak our truth, even if someone doesn't receive it well and it's painful for them to receive, eventually they'll be able to accept that, and everybody's life is improved by the truth.